What's up YouTube, Mellows and Matt here. So, a little bit of a different look today, because we are doing little, as you might see, try to get my hand in, down here, I've got little chibi meat, and that's because I didn't want to get the two cameras set up for this. But we've got our box opening, because my Michiru deck arrived today. So we're going to quickly open it up, have a look through it, see what we've got, and just discuss the decks as a whole. So, I've seen quite a few people struggling get into these decks, and there's a nice little bit at the bottom here to untape it. So slide that out. This plastic can go out the way. So obviously the first thing to note is obviously we've got a nice storage box here. Puts together quite nicely. And obviously we open it up. We can slide it out and see what we've got. So, first thing up is all back. Quick look to the side for a second. First bit up is this little insert. So obviously it's got Michiru and Jeweled on the back. A little bit about Michiru, a bit about Jeweled, QR code for scanning for the rules, and it displays the contents. But no, nice little bit there. Then obviously we have our deck. We'll save that till last. Next one up, which I actually really enjoy, is got the got 6 fronts, 2 heals, 2 crits, and 2 draws. These are all little counter markers. On the back, you've got the same image, just faded in pink. And these are really nice for just showing what powers you got, but personally, these will always be better for me. But it's still nice to have nonetheless. So, we'll put that on. Then obviously we have our fancy smancy rules. I'm not going to open them all up because we've all played the game long enough now to know what the rules are. Next up in the pile we have our playmat. So obviously we've got this side for showing what the rules are. And then if we flip it over, we have a pretty Michiru and Jewel side with no rules on it, and they've actually removed the zone, so it's actually a bit more open space. You can see the actual image. Now to try and fold this back together, because I am good at this, I promise. There we go. So that can go into that part. Then we have our 1 copy of Elementaria Sanctitude. This card is now legal, so it's very fun to muck around with, because obviously this being a promo, not being an actual set card, means that it is not restricted by the 2 weeks delay. So this is very fun to muck around with. So for those that haven't seen it, this is Elementaria Sanctitude. It's got a bit skill of being a Sentinel, but it's restricted to only 1 Elemental Sanctaria into your deck. And it's got the skill of your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive. This ability can be played without paying the cost. And you pay this card with a discarded card from your hand. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or less, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of that battle. And then remove this card from the game. So this won't work with any of the grade 4s. And if you're against a grade 4 or something that has gained the ability triple drive, like via Mabel, this won't work with Leonorn. Leonorn is drive +1. You get a free discard out of it, so really nice perfect card. And then we have our expansion pack. We are going to look at the expansion pack after we touch the main deck. So, nice bit of ASMR. There you go. For those ASMR fans. So then we've got our 4 copies of Jeweled, 1 being shiny. And then the bonus they've done for this is they've done little teaching cards to actually show you the basis of the ride deck. So obviously the first one's all about choosing a grade 0, 1, 2, 3 out of your 50 cards for a ride deck. Then this one explains that you're riding from the 0 to the 1 in the ride deck. And then this one explaining you can ride from the 1 to the 2 in the ride deck. And by that point they presume that you know what to do for grade 3, so they're not bothered with that. Then we've got 4 copies of Truce Ruler Raider, which has got the skill of when this unit attacks, if you have Vanguard with Jeweled card name, count +1, gets plus 10k, until the end of the battle, and then at the end of the battle, put this card into your soul. So this really helps for getting Drajul's 4 in soul that you need. Quickly going to run over Drajul because I forgot to read him. Drajul's got 3 abilities. First one is, when this card would be rode upon, it's also treated as Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajul, which is the BT07 one. And then the second skill is also, when she attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 4 cards with different grades. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguards. Until the end of the turn, increase or decrease its power to 1. And if the opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets a critical. And the third skill is, if you Soul Blast 4 or more cards at the same time for the cost of your card's ability this turn, it gets power plus 5,000, but only on the rearguard circle. So really nice to having a 18k rearguard, because it can actually make magic numbers when you need to. But the main part of it is actually setting your opponent's power down to 1, and then just swinging 3 times at their face whilst they're at 1. Obviously, it is not a permanent set down to 1, so any increases that do come down afterwards do actually add on like trigger effects. So next up we have 4 copies of a 10k vanilla, but what they've done is another teaching card, and this one explains the intercepting side. So it's really nice they put it on an interceptor. Then we've got 4 copies of Mystic Accordion. Now Mystic Accordion's got the skill of, when this card is discarded from your hand during your ride phase, now you put this card into your soul. So this is really nice for extra bit of help with Drajul for getting your different grades in your soul. Then next up we have 4 copies of Avid Heaper. This has got the skill of, when this unit boosts a grade 2 or greater, you may soul charge 1. So again, just helping to build up the soul. Basic simple cards for the trial deck, understandable. Next one up is we have 3 copies. Oh, means I've actually got to buy a single copy of this from a set now. 3 copies of Direful Doll Kjurtsin. Beautiful name, but it's a beautiful card. So Kjurtsin's got the skill of, once per turn, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can counterblast 2 and draw a card. So if you've noticed from the stuff in the trial deck here, none of it really counterblasts that much outside of this grade 3. So having this as a trial deck card for counterblast 2, draw a card, absolutely fine for those learning the game. Obviously it does get phased out, but it's still nice to have nonetheless. And then we have 4 grade 1s that all have the ability of explaining boost. So it's really nice. There was a effect version of this in the bonus pack, which we'll cover better when we get to it. And then we have 4 perfect guards. These are the same ones from the Bruce start deck. So it's the good old style one of, when it's placed in Guardian Circle, discard a card and can't be hit, but discarding's a cost, so it does get around the guard restricts. Then we have 4 crit triggers, and 4 draw triggers, and 4 front triggers, and 4 heal triggers. So we've got 16 triggers here. They've put the over trigger in here because it's actually beneficial to put it in there, because then you can actually choose which trigger you would like to remove for your over trigger. But now that's all been covered, it's time to open our beautiful pack. Like green, so you can see I'm not rigging what's inside it. So our first one is one who calls upon, oops, don't slide, I don't want to be spoilt. One who calls upon Raging Thunder, Fergrius. So Fergrius got the skill of, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you've got a Vanguard with Drajul in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your drop, put it into your soul, and this unit gets power plus 2,000 to the end of turn. So this becomes a 10k booster, which alongside a rearguard Drajul would make a nice 28k column on the turn that you use in Drajul's skill. But the reason this becomes more better is the fact that it actually fixes your soul up. And this is where the Drajul deck became more interesting for Darkseid to me, is because it's now manipulating your soul to be specific cards. So you're able to Soul Blast, say you've got 2 grade 2s in soul, but you're missing a grade 3. You can Soul Blast a grade 2, put the grade 3 from your drop zone into your soul. So it's really nice. There is 4, they just, with the way they do the pack, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, because these 2 are also new cards, and they weren't guaranteed to not be hollows. and we'll look at them in a minute. Next one up is the Ultrasound Siri. So Siri's got the skill of, when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1, look at 3 cards from your deck, choose a card from among them and put it into your soul. Shuffle your deck, and if your soul has 4 or more cards with different grades, you then draw a card on top. So this is more of the specific soul charge, and so you can dig in for certain pieces you're looking for, having proper fun with the deck, and it's shuffle for the deck finally, which is really good. So if you've had to stack cards to the bottom of your deck, this now shuffles it to re-randomize your deck. It's really nice. Then the other card, that's the new one, is Friend of the Netherworld Ling. And she's got the skill of, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your soul, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck. So we said about stacking cards to the bottom of your deck, and this does just that. It's a free, on-place, soul charge 1, but it's a specific soul charge out of 2 cards, which is really solid. I don't know why I'm knocking that off screen. Apologies there. But no, time to go into our hollow bits now. So, the first one is the Overtrigger, so that's guaranteed to not be hollow. Next one up is our Rideline Grade 2, Demonic Stone Dragon Dragule. This is also not hollow. This has got 2 skills. First one being, Vanguard Rearguard Circle. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you can soul charge 1. The second skill is, when this unit is rode upon by a unit with Dragule in its card name, you can soul charge 1, and if your soul has 3 or more cards with different grades, you draw a card. So the first skill is really nice. On hit, soul charge pressure is really good for any dark states because you want to build your soul up. But then, when you've got the fact of the second skill being a free soul charge 1, and they're getting the 3 in souls guaranteed because you can have your 0, 1, 2 by the time this is in your... You hit your grade 3 because this will then be in soul. You're guaranteed that draw, which is very good for the deck. Oh, I wanted this to be my hollow, but it's not. We have got Dual Core Dragon, which is not hollow for us. It's got the skill of, also, when this unit is rode upon by Demonic Stone Dragon Dual Kneel, which is the grade 2, call this card to Rearguard Circle. And the second skill of, also Rearguard Circle, when this unit attacks or boosts, this unit gets £5,000 until the end of that battle. End the battle, put this unit into your soul, and this effect is mandatory. So this is very fastly becoming a very strong card for the deck because it's 13k attacker, 13k booster, and it goes straight to soul. So it's actually seeing a lot of play in Bruce at the moment as well. So it's a bit of a shame they only put 1 in the deck, but really nice card. Next up, oh, we got the Hollow Starter. So we have got Julius Dracokid as our Hollow Starter. Obviously, basic starter skill of when this unit was rode upon, if you went second, you draw a card. But then, even the ride line's nice to have, because those that do want to build up the shiny ride lines, this is the only place to get it at the moment. And obviously, we've got an extra copy of the grade 3, and then, extra copy of this grade 1, and then 1 more each of these. So you end up with 4, 2, and 2. So ideally you want to buy 2 copies of the deck, because it then gives you play sets of everything here, and you get 2 copies of your Dual Dragon. But all in all, really nice deck. It's a really good product. Great place for beginners to start. I will likely be doing a Leonorn down the line. I just only had the money for 1 at the time. So I went ahead with Dragule first. But that is going to be it for this video. If you haven't done so already, please do like, comment, subscribe. It very much does help the channel. Let me know what you think of little chibi me. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.